So what is up, guys? This is the Ninja Movies back again with an all-new movie review. I'm actually pumping out 2 movie reviews today, so stay tuned for the very next review. But today I'm going to be starting off with this mouthful here, The Last Voyager of the Demeter, aka when I actually found it on streaming services, it was called Dracula, The Last Voyager of the Demeter. But apparently on IMDb there's no name of Dracula, but it is a brand new Dracula movie. And I just wanted to start off by saying it's starring Corey Hawkins, who I knew as Dr. Dre in the Straight Outta Compton film, which is one of my favourite movies of, all time really. I absolutely love that movie. I thought he was good in that. And he does a damn good job in this film as well. I'd never heard of this film. It only came out last year, and pretty much I just wanted to say the box office for this movie was disappointing. It was made for $45 million and only brought in 21 worldwide, so I guess kind of a flop. But when I was looking into this film, after it came out on streaming services, it was the #2 searched horror movie on the internet at the time. So I guess, this is a good time to get this review out if you're umming and ahhing whether you should see this film. And I've got a fair few things to say, but pretty much the plot of this is it's set in the 1800s, and the Demeter is going to actually ship some cargo over to London, and in the cargo is said Dracula, if you will. And my biggest gripe with this film is the design of the vampire, of Dracula. It's much more of a creature. It's golem-like. Even if you just want to look up some images of it, I'm not sure if they show them in the trailer, but it is not the Dracula I personally prefer. I prefer the suited up, he talks, he's a bit more suave. I guess the more campy Dracula, that's for me. Like, I'm all about him being evil, but this was just some mindless creature. Don't get me wrong, there's some good attacks that he does, and it's a gory film, and that's what you're looking for, but for me, until he got wings, it got a little cooler then, but the design of him, he's just a goblin. I would not consider this to be my Dracula whatsoever. But the film takes largely place on the boat, the Demeter, which I thought was a cool concept for Dracula. Put him out into, a space that he would never normally be in, out of the ocean. It's kind of like being out in space, because really they have no chance to escape. They can't port, can't do nothing. So each time nightfall comes and somebody keeps dying through the film, they have no, real opportunity to do anything other than potentially fight it, or just hope for the best. That's all they got. So it's really Dracula and these crew members that are just stuck out in the open ocean for the entirety of the film. I did like the plot line. It was kind of strange seeing a ship-based film, but they're not pirates. They're delivery people, so there's not like swords or anything. Most of them just carry around knives, and towards the start, when they don't really know what's going on, it is kind of funny. These guys thinking they're going to take on this absolutely hideous goblin with just, a knife about this big. The gore in the film is very good. There's a lot of fleshy, tendons in the neck that get shown. They weren't afraid to kill even a child in the film. Something I did like that I was wondering whether they were going to do is, obviously the classic story of Dracula or any sort of vampire story is if you get bitten, you yourself turn into a vampire. I like that they didn't just die from their injuries, even though some of the neck wounds, it's not like a fang bite. These things are like zombie bites. But the thing I didn't like is that they don't actually become vampires per se. They more or less become just possessed. Their eyes roll back in their head and they're just mindless zombies. The trait that they do get is that they can't handle the sunlight and they will combust like a vampire. So I did like they stayed true to that. But I wasn't into the whole possession side of it. I just thought it was just a real missed opportunity. Like most of the actual Dracula qualities, all a lot of missed opportunities to me. Plot-wise, I thought it was decent. I thought all the acting was good. The creature itself is the letdown. And I saw a lot of reviews going into before I watched this actual film, and they all sort of seemed to agree with me that it's just a film that, you're happy to watch once. You're not going to be disappointed. Like, it delivers. There's gore. It's a horror movie. It's something to watch, and it's not god awful. But you'll never watch it again. And I think this is like the least positive review I've ever put on the channel. but it's a good little start to showing you that I'm just not reviewing movies that I love. Like, this is something I watched as a one-off, and honestly, it was the most mid thing I've seen in a long time. And I don't watch a lot of modern horror, and this is kind of why. Like, I like the classic character of Dracula, like bring him into the new age in a good way, and not this fucking weird golem-ass goblin. I thought it was a misfire, and I can see why it lost money, but it is out on streaming services for free, so if you haven't checked it out and it still sounds interesting to you, if you die hard vampire, go check it out. I am glad they are still making vampire films, but yeah, this was a miss for me. Such a cool concept that they just really didn't hit the nail on the head with. So with that said, that's my review of The Last Voyager of the Demeter. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Leave it a like, add it to your favorites, and stay tuned for my next review.